guys. Okay, so I am on here to make my video about growing your faith with God. So this was a harder one for me to do, and I don't know why. I think it's just because we are just being so nitpicky with each other, and that's exactly what Satan wants. He wants us to be divided as Christians and brothers and sisters. So it took me a few days. I prayed a lot, and this is what I have. It's like planting a seed and watching a flower grow. There are so many verses in the Bible speaking about faith. Look at the book of Job. I mean, wow. He went through a lot of trials and tribulations. He had it all and literally lost everything. And through it all, his faith grew in God. No one said things would be easy. The mockers and scoffers are out there, and there are, Satan is out there along with his minions, and their goal is to fracture your faith and try to break your spirit. Stay true to your faith in God. It's like any relationship, and it takes time to grow. Some days will be harder than others. Remember, God will never leave your side. I want to read Isaiah 41:10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will hold thee with thy right hand of my righteousness. Faith takes time, and it's not something that happens overnight for everyone. This is such a hard one. I have faith in God constantly. And my husband and I had a conversation last week. It was a really good conversation, too. He doesn't like to talk about his faith. And we talked about how stressed he is right now about getting a job when he gets out of the Army. And I told him I was cooking dinner, and we were in the kitchen, and the kids were watching PBS or something like that. And we were talking about how I told him, I said, God's got this, we need to not, I don't want you to stress out. And he goes, I don't want to be that Christian that only calls out to the Lord when I'm stressed out or in trouble. He goes, that's not fair. He said, you should be doing that all the time. I should want to feel like that all the time, whether I'm stressed out or not stressed out. And he says, my faith should be strong, no matter what situation. And I said, you're right. I said, but that's the great thing about grace and God being there for you all the time. And that's what I told him. I said, it doesn't matter what situation that you're in, whether you're having a good day or a bad day or stressful or whatever. God's got you. He's got this. So just call upon him. And I feel that is a huge way for your growth and your faith in God to grow. So, look at how much faith the disciples had in Jesus. Matthew 4:18-23 talks about Jesus coming and seeing Peter and his brother, and they were fishing with their father, and they left everything behind to follow man. They didn't know. Remember, our timeline is not God's timeline. So we need to have patience and faith that God has it under control. And, faith fuels passion and spirituality. I wanted to go to Hebrews. Well, first I want to read 2 Corinthians 5:7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Remember that. I want to go to Hebrews 11. Basically the whole book. And I want to kind of give snippets of what the chapter's about. It's all about faith. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and he was not found because God had translated him. Before his translation, he had his testimony, and it pleased God. Without faith, it's impossible. It's impossible to just go through your daily life, in my opinion, without my faith in God, that he will get me through whatever I need to get through. He'll never give you more of a burden than he knows you can handle. Look at Noah. He was mocked and scoffed for building the ark. People thought he was nuts. And he had faith in God, and it grew every day until that flood came. And God promised prosperity to Noah and his family because he was faithful to God. Abraham, same thing. God made a covenant with Abraham, one of the most important covenants ever, and promised Abraham generations and generations of children, and promised the land to Abraham. And he had faith. He walked with God. It's just, there's so many stories in the Bible about people and their faith and how it grows, and it's different for everybody. So, and that's the thing, I think we really need to get away from judging other people and their walk with God. Because everybody's walk with God is different. And everybody goes at different paces and speeds. And I think we really need to be sensitive to that for our brothers and sisters in Christ. So, just pray for each other and love each other. And have faith that God is sending his son soon for his bride. I love you all. God bless.